I got Miss Spot with me. Hey, baby. This is my girl for 15 years. She's always been the best girl. Hey. Just so good. I'm going to talk about Vale Tudo, which is Brazilian for no holds barred, Bareknuckle boxing, and my very brief stint as an MMA fighter. I don't even know where to start with this. If you've ever taken a martial art in your life, you know there's sparring days. So of course I experienced that. I've been doing martial arts my whole life. And I had some tussles with bullies in school. As I was approaching master level in Hapkido, I would consider it like full contact, like advanced sparring, like full contact sparring, but my master had done a lot of work in the inner city, and a lot of the people, and a lot of the times I would be meeting them for the first time, but a lot of the people, his students or former students that maybe now had schools or other students of their own. Oh, hey, Todd, you want to be part of that? It's my boy. Yeah, you my boy. What's up, cute stuff? What's up, soft face? You gonna show everybody how cute? Look at you. Yeah, you're shy. I know you're shy. He likes those college girls, though, man. He ran away about a year ago. He was young. He got out the front door, and some college girls picked him up. He ran right up to him, and they picked him up. And then when I went over to go get him, he growled at me. He was like, "Fuck you, bro. I'm going with these girls." Yeah. You like the babes. Yeah. The bare knuckle, I had a couple prior to my military experience. And you have to understand, when I joined the military and I was doing all this Vale Tudo, bare knuckle stuff, MMA, mixed martial arts, UFC the UFC existed, but it wasn't under the boxing commission. It wasn't legal. So you have to understand, these are all very shady things, and you're lucky if you can get it. You got it. Like I did. You find a gym that can organize it. But the bare knuckle, I prefer it. I don't like gloves. Bare knuckle is my preference, and it is as brutal as you think it is, but it's not. Like, they don't seem to be, like, in my experiences, I don't want to say the word traumatic, but it's not as complicated as, like, when you're wearing gloves and maybe doing no holds barred fights, or you're doing cage fighting, MMA with the rules. Give me a second, baby. Once I finish this video, I'm gonna take you off for a walk, okay? I know, you heard me. I know. Let me finish this video real quick, okay? Yeah, I understand. Yes, I understand. The bare knuckle was just very simple, and it was very quick. I wouldn't say it's like a real fight, like a street fight. I mean, it's a fight, but it's not like a street fight. But at the same time, it's simple, man. It's just quick. I mean, it was just my favorite. It was just like 1, 2, you know, maybe you go. I mean, people can only take so much punishment, okay? This isn't the movies. I liked it. My speed gave me an advantage in it. If I could lay hands on somebody bare knuckle twice and maybe 3, 4 times before they catch me with one, like, my odds of winning are really good. So I liked bare knuckle boxing. The no holds barred, that was challenging because now you had people of all martial arts, and the only 2 rules where I participated in, the only 2 rules were no punches to the throat and no eye gouges. Everything else was legal, man. You could bite somebody, you could pull their hair. I remember one time a guy was choking me out, and the only thing I could grab was his rib cage, and I got my fingers under his rib cage and I started to pull it so I could snap his ribs. I mean, it was wild, man. I could tell you that's where most of my stories come from. That's the majority of my fights were in Vale Tudo, and they were brutal, man. I mean, we had emergency kits. I gave a dude stitches up his nugget with a headbutt. I almost had my neck broke. It's wild. Like, we sign waivers and we just fucking go. And the way that one was set up, sometimes it was just one-on-one type thing, but a lot of times 10, like, I say 10, but like whoever's there to participate, we're in a big circle. And no, we're in a circle, but we're all across from each other, okay? And so whoever you're standing across from, that's who you fight. And you got 5 minutes, and it's tap out or blackout. And that's the only way to win. And then everybody that lose, like, eventually it whittles itself down, and until there can be only one. I've got stories, and I'm not gonna try to tell them all in this video, so maybe another time, if you're interested. But from there, I joined the military, and as far as fighting goes, like hand-to-hand anything, I mean, they followed the Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu thing is what they taught soldiers, and I had already studied that. One of the guys that participated in the Vale Tudo with us, and, you know, just weekly training, because that particular, I don't want to say institution, that particular gym had coaches in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Russian Sambo, Chinese Wing Chun under Francis Fong, Jeet Kune Do under Danny Nosanto, Shotokan Karate under Mark Mills, who also taught the Jeet Kune Do. Who else did they have? They had Filipino martial arts, Kali Eskrima, and you gotta think. And they had a Wing Chun master from France. But you gotta think, like, all these instructors would call in guests, like the Gracies, or this is when I got to spar with Frank Shamrock, the UFC world champion. They would all call in and so there would be seminars, and so I got to experience all of these. When I went into the military, it was just Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then I went and I got certified through what they call mount training, military operations and urban terrain, and it's a mixture of, like, hey, you're moving through with your body armor and your rifle, how do you use your rifle to, like, boom, jab to the eyes, maybe wrap the sling and hip toss somebody, or if they grab your rifle, how do you, you know, a lot of that. I was trained to be an instructor in that, which there were levels. While I'm in the military, UFC becomes legit, and under the boxing commission and all this, and I'm like, okay, well, when I get out of the military, I'm gonna fuck these dudes up, bro. I get out and I pursue like a few different things before this kind of reached a point where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get into MMA. It's popular. I could tell you the couple fights I did in it. I will tell you that in a future video. Both of those guys deserve respect. But I mean, like the first one I got into, I was like, after weigh-ins and before the fight, like I got drunk, man. I just started taking shots, and then I went back to my truck and like smoked a joint, and that's how I went into my first fight. And my first fight, my corner guy was like, "Holy fuck, dude! Like you're fighting Lou Ferrigno," and he was a lot better looking. The dude I fought, he was a good-looking kid, but like. He was big, like Lou Ferrigno. He was fucking... Lou Ferrigno's the guy, the 70s actor that played the Hulk. And he was fucking huge, man. He was in great shape. And like I said, I'll tell you these stories later, but I didn't take it serious the first time. And when I lost, the first time I feel that I really ever fucking lost a fight, it did something to me psychologically. And I knew I had to get back in the cage or I never would again. And there was so much to that. Not only the first time losing in front of literally 3,000 people, but the lights, the cameras, and I'm the sole focus of attention of thousands of people with all these lights flashing, and I'm standing in the middle. They're just looking at me. I've gone my whole life trying not to be noticed. I spent my whole life not attracting attention to myself, and later on, intentionally being the gray man. And like when I was a kid, I didn't want to draw attention from the people that raised me. And so all this, it was like psychological overstimulation. And then I knew I wasn't fighting like me in that fight. I felt like I was a robot or something, but like the whole thing and the after effect of losing, which I had never really experienced. I've lost plenty of wrestling matches and stuff, but this was different. And so my second fight I took very seriously, and I'll tell you that story sometime too. But like my second fight I took very seriously, and then of course street fights, which there are no rules. That is what I have trained my body to do through muscle memory. No rules, man. Like the first time I hit you, like I got tested in the University of Gainesville, Florida, their sports science department. I got tested on how fast I can snap an eye jab out. The human eye literally cannot perceive how fast I can do that, which means I can take your eye before you can ever perceive that I'm moving, okay? I'm fast, or I was fast. Street fighting is what I train my body, my muscle memory, my short muscle fibers, I train this for no rules. I want an eye jab. The first one goes to the eyes, the second one goes to your windpipe. And if you somehow grab a hold of me, we're dirty boxing, where I'm gonna either bite or rip your ear. I'm gonna grab you by the back of your hair while I cave your knee in, knee you in the fucking nuts, and headbutt the fuck out of you. Like, this is what I've trained my body to do, to be as brutal, more brutal, as brutal as I possibly could through all the martial arts that I've studied. This is how I train myself. So the street fighting, which it was never planned, it's just mostly drunks, which is why I don't have to use too much. Like, I show mercy, you know, I'll smack them in the mouth, and if they really want to throw after that, okay, then I'm gonna toss you on the ground and pound you out, or I'm gonna put you to sleep. Like, but I show mercy, you know. It's not like a trained fighter or a trained killer that wants to take my life and is sober. That's a different story, man. Now it's lethal. So street fighting is the most liberating. Bare knuckle boxing was the most simple and painful. MMA is really a science at this point. It's tailored to favor grappling over boxing, in that tight little octagon or that tight little cage space. There's a lot of tampering, I would say, with MMA, but I have nothing but respect for them because they are professional athletes. The Vale Tudo, man, I think I learned the most from that. But yeah, it's really pretty interesting. And I think how I want to end the video is that not only is violence the natural state of reality, the natural state of the existence, the world we live in, you have to kill to eat. Even if you're a fucking vegan, you have to kill plants to eat. You have to kill to eat. Like, violence is not only, it's a necessity, man. It's natural. It's part of the order of things. But there's something really special, I would say priceless, about when two fighters engage. You're putting your life in someone else's hands. Like, that's more intimate than sex, because if either one of you desired to, or even accidentally steps outside the lines of respect, or if it's a street fight and there is no lines of respect, then you're really, yeah, you're placing your life in someone else's hands, because one wrong move and you could be done. There's something priceless about that experience. And over time, this is why I have so much scar tissue in my brain. Over time, like, it's not about winning or losing to me. If it was a street fight, yeah, it'd be about winning, because I'm not putting my life at the mercy of someone else. But, you know, any kind of fight where there's some sort of boundaries or rules or understanding, there's something priceless about that I'm having trouble putting into words. But it's not about winning and losing. It's about that experience. Anyway,